Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing a BMW M2 with the manual transmission. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Brian, who just purchased this BMW M2. He works at the BMW of Murray, so if you're interested in a new BMW, I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below. If you have any questions or need any help whatsoever, just ask for Brian. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a twin-turbo 3-liter inline-6 that goes through a 6-speed manual transmission. Fuel economy 16 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 453 horsepower and then 406 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, I absolutely love the design, how it kind of raises up towards the center. It definitely has a boxy look, but I like it. And then coming down below, the headlights also have this cool effect, especially with the daytime running light there. And then you guys can see the M2 logo. Notice how everything is blacked out. And then we do have carbon fiber ground effects. And putting it all together, this thing looks so aggressive and wide with the front end. Now coming around the side here, our turn wheel setup is 275, 35, 19 in the front, and then 285, 30, 20 in the rear. So we have a fully staggered setup. And then notice with the wheels darker with the coloration, you got the big red brake caliper, which I would say contrasts to the paint, but obviously it doesn't because they're both red. Anyways, cool wheel design. Yeah, look at that with the carbon fiber ground effect there. But yeah, really wide here with the fender, and then look at the bodywork here on the side, and then we have another carbon fiber ground effect, which, yeah, that pops. And then here is your full side view with the M2. Now taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function, and then you guys can see we also have the BMW M colors on the side, and obviously open up the trunk. Now popping into said trunk, you guys can see you can fit a bag of golf clubs here in the back of the M2. That is all that matters. You can go golfing with the M2, and plop. Now I've got this low profile spoiler here, M2 logo, and then you guys can see with the taillight design. And then I love the carbon fiber diffuser here. And then the exhaust tips also have like carbon fiber wrapped around them. Interesting. And finishing things up, let me guys think about the style here with the new M2. Okay, I lied. Carbon fiber roof. Now we finish things up with the exterior. Now taking a look at the door panel here, you guys can see soft touch at the top, and then also down below you're going to rest your arm. I like the M colors built in there. And then your controls here for the mirrors, so the mirrors do power fold in. They also have blind spot monitoring. Now the M2 does have back seats, but they're better for storage more so than anything else. Also, the front seat moves forward when you put it, and then it moves backwards when you put it back. Also, the M colors on the seat, that is really cool looking, but you guys can see all the leather trim here, power adjustments, and then, yep, this one has a 6-speed manual transmission. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see really nice trim all around. We have the M colors there in the center with our M logo at the bottom and some carbon fiber all around. Heated steering wheel button on the steering wheel. We have our M1 and M2 modes. Practical controls on the front for like the cruise control, for example. And then you can see the 2 stalks here on the back. Now taking a look at the gauge cluster, you guys can see fully digital here. And the cool thing is when you change to the M2 mode, you see it pops up with the M2 there. But yeah, overall it has a very sporty and futuristic design. Oh, and last thing that I almost forgot to mention, when you change into some of the drive modes, it actually changes what the gauge cluster looks like depending on the drive mode that you go into. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. Resolution with the camera is really good. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, this is BMW's new unit that you've seen on other reviews that I've posted. Response time is really good. It's a massive screen. It is connected to the gauge cluster. It's kind of all one unit. But yeah, it's easy enough to use. And look how customizable the M2 is with everything, suspension, steering, all that. I mean, it's cool. Now I do have some more carbon fiber trim across the dash, and then more soft touch there at the top of the dash. Some vents here in the center, and then we've got some analog controls for like the radio down below. And then you can see carbon fiber trim here. Covers up this little cup holder area. We've got our shifter for the manual transmission. We'll talk about this more during the drive, but I do like the M stitching there. And then also the parking sensors, your auto stop start, engine stop start, your setup, your M mode, and then that's for the exhaust to make it louder or quieter, depending on what you want. And then analog controls the infotainment system. And then again, more carbon fiber trim, and then really cool looking lid here at the center console. Nice material use, pretty normal center console, nothing too crazy. And this brings us to the Windows sticker. 62,200 is the base MSRP, 62,000. We do have quite a few options added to this. Total MSRP, 77,275. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, and hope you can see the heads-up display now. Both mirrors do a blind spot monitoring throughout the rest of the rear. Also, this has the aerodynamic mirrors, which are always a cool thing. But anyways, let us set off here in the new BMW M2. Really excited to drive this. This will probably be the only M2 review that I will have on the channel for quite some time, I imagine. Because first off, these are rare. And secondly, all the new ones coming in are pre-sold, so it's kind of hard to get reviews on that. But yeah, and good thing it's a manual. I mean, the automatic, I've heard a lot of good things about the automatic. Some people seem to like the automatic more than the manual in this car, but I don't know, I always think it's fun to try out the manual version because I am part of the Save the Manual gang. But anyways, seat comfort's really good. And gosh, it looks so cool to see. This car's reflection is just so sweet. Now, the M2, although it is, you know, not technically like a traditional sports car, it's still with the ground effects low to the ground. So yeah, especially if you get the carbon fiber ground effects, understand that you're going to want to take everything at a pretty aggressive angle. So much torque, so much torque. A little bit too close to the pedal box there, so I'll fix that. It seems like it's pretty. Let me make sure that. Oh, I thought I was doing really good with my rev match downshifting. I was like, man, it's pretty easy to rev match downshift. The car was doing it automatically. So yeah, kind of embarrassing. So we'll pop into the sport mode now. And by the way, comfort mode, I mean, it's super smooth. But I will say you can definitely tell that it's an M car, right? Even in comfort mode, M cars are still more so on a razor sharp edge, I guess is a good way to put it. Okay, so getting up and moving again, we'll kind of get into it a little bit here. Ooh, man, this has got some power. I love this. This is fun. This is a fun car. Now, I will say the manual shifts, excuse me, the manual shifts aren't, like the shifter itself, they aren't necessarily the most satisfying. It is still fun to go through the gears, but this isn't, yeah, it's not the most exciting. Ooh, got an M2 now. So everything's the most aggressive here now. So I'll kind of see how this feels. Ooh, the exhaust. Speaking of sports cars, Cayman GT4 right there. Yeah, this is kind of a bumpier road. So this will kind of show us in the, again, remember this is the stiffer suspension setting. I mean, you do feel stuff, but it's not bad. Well, I guess that we are to the point where we'll sum things up, but oh, it's so much fun. It's got so much torque. I really do love this engine. I'm still torn between this and then the B58, right? Just the single turbo inline six. But they're both just great engines. So yeah, tons of power. This is definitely a very refined M2. I think is a good way to put it. I wouldn't call this luxury. It's still an M car, but it's definitely, this seems like it's more focused on being like a daily drivable high performance car. It definitely feels like a big focus with this. I figured I gotta give you guys at least a few accelerations here in the M2. So yeah, I think this drives, it's really fun to drive. It is more on the luxury side, so I haven't ever driven the previous generation M2, but everyone that has driven it has told me that this doesn't feel quite as raw as the previous generation M2. This, you know, from someone who's reviewed quite a few sports cars over the years, this definitely does have more of a luxury kind of feel to it. So there is that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the new M2, and let me know what you guys think about the new M2 with the manual versus the automatic. Obviously I haven't driven the automatic M2, but I can tell you is this manual, it's got rev match downshift, that's fine. The shifter is just not, it's pretty notch into the gates, but it's just not my favorite manual shifter out there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think.